This is CJ Cain from the Wooks, and you're listening to the Behind the Songs podcast. How's it going?
Hey, this is the man himself. Hello.
Yeah.
How are
How's
you,
it go?
sir?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm very well, very well. Thank you, TJ, for joining us on Behind the Song.
Well, thanks for having me.
Oh no, it's a pleasure and a joy. So I know you're here to talk about Flying High, but that's also the name of the album as well.
Uh-huh.
So could you tell us more about the song?
Yeah, so this song kind of started from almost a random thought or line that come to my head. And that line was sometimes the plane goes down in the middle of the Johnson grass. And I was driving home from a rehearsal when that line kind of came to my head, and I was like, that's so strange. It's just like I was like, what is that? And, in case you're not familiar, like Johnson grass is just like an invasive kind of grass that's aggravating in the farming pastures here in Kentucky. Um, and I got to thinking, I was like, I know a guy who crashed an airplane in a pasture field, where horses and cattle
Yeah.
are running around trying to dodge him, and he made it out, luckily. And I was like, so maybe I can take this random thought and go put this use this true story as sort of like, I don't know if you call it a metaphor or uh, you know the chorus is kind of the philosophy of the tune. If you have like true love or a good companion, it
Yeah.
doesn't necessarily matter if you're in a bind or if the plane feels like it's going down. As long as you got somebody with you, it's kind of like survivable. And then, so I was like, well, this is kind of going to be sort of a love song or a song about love, per se. And so I got to kind of thinking about some couples that were kind of good friends of mine, like my dad's friends, actually, from his hometown, West Liberty, Kentucky. And I thought of Pam Bob and Jim Bob. And Jim Bob is really cool guy, and when Pam married him, she also got his middle name, so everybody calls her Pam Bob as well. And so I started talking to them. It was during the pandemic, so we talked over FaceTime and kind of got the story of like how they met. And they're just really great, interesting characters, and really an awesome example of uh, what's great about Appalachia and Eastern Kentucky. Pam is an artist, an Appalachian artist, and Jim Bob had just retired from the railroad.
Yeah.
And I got their whole story of their first dates, and they went hiking in the woods, and Pam climbed a tree and got some driftwood out of the tree to make a campfire, and she made him a cup of tea. She would play piano for Jim Bob to try to impress him, and they're just really fun people. So I was glad to document them in the first two verses, and then my dad's best friend growing up, Chubb, who his real name's Mark, but everybody calls him Chubb. And his wife Rose was another couple that I thought were really cool and like worth kind of documenting their whole deal. And Chubb was always pretty athletic, so I might have embellished his baseball prowess a little bit, but I put him in the tune there. And then Rose was always known for calling into our like sports radio show here in Kentucky, called Kentucky Sports Radio, and she was really funny. She passed a few years ago, and so it was really nice to document her, and that meant a lot to her family and friends. And she would call in. She had the best jokes, and she would take the radio host moonshine and homemade pies, and she just kind of became a regular.
Yeah.
Um, and a favorite of like the listeners and the host on that show. So that's kind of where the talking on the radio thing comes in on the Rose verse. But I like writing songs about real people. Not all songs have to be about somebody who like stormed the San Juan Hill or like
Yeah.
some kind of historic greatness. It can be like everyday life because then like everybody can relate to that. And the comforting thing about it for me is that I think it's cool to like document special people that come into your life. So when I was younger, I would have maybe been scared to write a song about somebody that was that close to you, like because maybe you wouldn't get it because you never met
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
But this guy that's a friend of mine here that's kind of gotten some notoriety as a songwriter, Tyler Childers, I noticed that he was always writing about his friends and family and
Yeah.
not afraid to put their stories out there, though they may be specific. Like it's far more understandable to.
Yeah. It's completely relatable. Yeah.
Yeah. I wouldn't have maybe known that was, a thing without seeing him do it first.
Sure. And Flying High, it's coming out on the 25th of February as well, right?
Yes, it is. And that single's already out, and there's a really neat animated music video for
I
that.
love that video. I love it
Yeah.
so much. It's so cool.
Well, the artist Josh Clark, he was able to talk with Pam and Jim Bob on a Zoom call.
Yeah.
And I got videos of Chubb and Rose, and the guy who crashed the plane gave me like an audio breakdown of what actually went down, and I was able to send it to Josh. That guy's name's Allen Ofield. It's actually Pam's cousin. And that's how it all ties together is like they were all out in the front yard, and he was coming in there and showing off his new airplane. And then on the second pass through, he's like smoking, and they're like, "What's going on?" And he like takes it down right in front of everybody. So it's like this scary situation that all turned out okay, and then I get this song out of it. So I'm, glad everything worked out for everybody.
It worked out for everyone.
Yeah.
Now, I see a guitar in your hand, and I know
Yeah.
we're going to be given a very exclusive variation of Flying High by yourself.
Yeah, I'll do it, man. Jim Bob Need was a switchman on the C&O train. Rolled the line out of Paintsville till he got his watch and chain. Love ran him down like a possum on the track. Split him down the middle, he found his better half. Now an Opiate girl can make you laugh till the tears run down your face. Climb a tree, make a cup of tea, and play the Mozart number 8. Long before the railroad and the oh-so hit the town, Jim Bob went a-crowing, he fell in love with Pam. Sometimes the plane goes down in the middle of the Johnson grass. Your mama, your daddy, your dear old granny's will as you make the pass. What goes up must come down, this I know is true. Be flying high till the day I die, so long as I'm holding you. man's Charlie hustle, knocking high right off the ball, flashing leather in the corner with the rifle for an arm. Love came falling down like a foul ball in the light. Chubby never saw it coming, hit him right between the eyes. Now a cherry pie and a jar of shine will make you think of Rose hollering out the window and talking on the radio. They disappear to the White Oak Hills and the Licking River Red. Come stumbling back in the witching hour with the leaves all in their hair. Sometimes the plane goes down Johnson grass. Mama, your daddy, your dear old granny's waving as you make the pass. What goes up must come down, this I know is true. Be flying high till the day I die, so long as I'm holding you. Be flying high till the day I die, so long as I'm holding you. Woo! That's actually the first time I've ever played a tune that I've written like solo, you know.
Oh, that's amazing, and I'm so glad it's here on this Behind the Song podcast.
Did you have any questions about the tune, maybe?
I absolutely fell in love with the tune and the melody and the lyrics, and I mean. Well, what you really explained, because I didn't realize it was based on real life people and real life connections, and that now listening to it, because I've been listening to it and watching the video beforehand, it just I find that I've got an even more deeper connection to the song and to you as well.
Well, thank you so much, man. Anytime you want to talk about a tune, just hit me up.
Definitely. Thank you very much, CJ Cain.
Yeah, thank you.